Happy December 1st. It's hard to believe that we are literally 1 month away from a new year. So I have a very important question for you. Will this new year be the one that is finally different? Will this be the one you make lasting change? I'm going to get you thinking in this episode, so buckle up for real, especially if you're driving, buckle up, and have an open mind, a receptive heart with this episode, because I do intend to challenge you. It's going to be fun. And as I promise, as always, you'll leave this podcast better, especially today. Let's get after it, shall we? Hey mama, welcome to the Tough Love Mom Podcast. I know you're here because you're ready to get consistent and finally lose that weight, and you're not afraid of a little tough love. You know what to do to lose weight, but following through on those things feels impossible. You wish you could just feel like your strong, confident self again and want to be a good example for your little ones, but you get thrown off by mom guilt and the unpredictability of motherhood. It's frustrating. Taking on your journey postpartum is hard, but it's not impossible. Hey, I'm Liz, and I've been where you are. I gained a lot of weight in my pregnancies, 90 pounds and then 60 pounds. I needed to lose that weight to take control of my health and honestly just wanted to feel like myself again. With a sustainable approach to weight loss, simple consistency, and working on my mindset, I lost it all in just over a year both times, and I'm here to help you do the same. I believe that we have an ingrained ability to figure out what we need to do, make it happen, and do it in a way that awes the world. If you're ready to stop falling off the wagon, create solid routine and healthy habits, and finally feel your best inside and out, all while enjoying dino nuggets on your salad, you are in the right place. We're about to transform your journey, my friend. Get pumped up. It is tough love time. Earlier today, I did a quick Google search, New Year, New Me. That was what I typed into the search bar. And you know how when the Google results come up, a few photo results come up with some website search results, like those photos are at the top. The first image, and I'll post it on Instagram later today, it said, New Year, New Me, same dreams, fresh starts. I was like, cringe. Yikes. So do you know what I cringed at? I cringed at the part that said same dreams. So of course, having like that kind of visceral reaction, I went to the blog post because I saw the very beginning of the title. You know, when you click on the picture, you can see the website title, and the first few words were 47 motivational New Year quotes if resolutions didn't work for you. And the first, so like another red flag, I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is hurting me. It's paining me to read. And the first line, and it's fine, I'm not like judging you if resolutions don't work, right? So what we're talking about today, is this going to be a different year for you, and why? How can we make this shift? But I'm reading this, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta keep reading the blog, just put myself through pain, right? The first line of the blog said, resolutions are hard to keep. Now, guess what? They're not wrong. This blog did hit the nail on the head. It really did. Because I think a lot of society feels this way, right? Well, you know, some motivational quotes for you. Here's 47. If resolutions just don't work for you, resolutions are hard to keep. This is true. It's true. It just pains me to read because that quick moment I cringed was when I read same dreams. New year, new me, same dreams, fresh starts. I think fresh starts is great, right? Like that's the image of grace. That is the definition of a new day, which I feel like we should all just feel so blessed and grateful every single day we wake up to say, I get a clean slate. Like I feel that way in parenting, especially a lot. And so I think it's great that we have that in our journey as well. It's the same dreams that kill me. Are there times and seasons we continue towards the same goal? Yes, I do believe that. Personally, my focus this upcoming year is having an optimal balance of strength and endurance. I want to be able to lift really heavy, be explosive, have, continued strength building in my core to help my back issues, but I also want to be able to go out and run 6 miles on a Saturday morning if I need, a long run for my mental sanity. That's a goal that I have next year. It's a pretty broad one, but I've got some specific things in there. And honestly, that's a goal that I'll probably have for a lot of years. It's one of those ongoing ones, right? The same dreams. But one I will master this upcoming year. It's the first time I'm really aiming towards this after having kids. But continuing to have that goal down the road after this next year, or aiming towards that, means I'm refining those skills. I'm not like starting over. It's not like the same dream with a fresh start because I didn't make any progress. That's why I cringed at that. Because for many, unfortunately, and again, I need to preface this, it's okay if you fall into this camp. I really have no judgment on you. It just pains me to see women face this, because there's a different way to approach things so you're not constantly starting over with the same goal in mind and not making any progress. Because up until about 4 years ago, I was in that same camp, right? Having the same dreams, they're goals. These same dreams are goals that should be attainable and they should be sustainable for life. They're just being approached wrong. So things like weight loss, consistency in working out, quote, getting to the gym 5 days a week, or working out 5 days a week, even if it's at home, not eating out as much, another goal. These are things that are attainable and sustainable. They're just not approached right. Fitting in certain clothes size again, feeling good in your body. Like, I know that's not as tangible of a goal, and you should go listen to my episode about SMART goals because I rip them apart because I don't really like SMART goals that much. I know I'm one of the weird ones out there. I think they're beneficial, but I think in our journeys, sometimes there's pieces of SMART goals that are not helpful. But feeling good in your body, I think, is a great goal. I think it's attainable. I think it's something that can be lasting your whole life and something you're continuing to refine, but it's attainable. It shouldn't be something that we continue to work towards from the same square one. These are all doable if they're done right. But in the new year, right, there's so much momentum. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's working towards this now, fresh start, that almost everyone takes this all or nothing approach, which is sustainable until something unplanned or unexpected comes up, or something impedes one of the small changes you made, throwing it off, and it throws the rest off. Literally by February, most people's resolutions are done, which is why blog articles like this with 47 motivational quotes and resolutions are hard, and if they didn't work for you, it's okay. Here's some quotes. Like, that's why those things exist, because literally for over 90% of people by February, their resolutions are moot. They're not there anymore. And those fluffy quotes like new year, new me, same dreams, fresh starts might make you feel good and feel seen for a second. That underlying frustration and disappointment is probably still there, isn't it? So how do you avoid the need for blog articles like 47 motivational quotes if New Year's resolutions are hard for you? I want you to start January 1st or 2nd or whatever day you're starting. I don't care when it is. Start it with one change instead of 17 or 5 or 3. Start with one. Don't try to start Monday with, new lunches that you're packing every day and, planned out dinners, and you're also meal prepping your snacks, and you're going to work out at the gym 3 days this week and then at home 4 days. And now you're actually working out 7 days a week when before you were only doing 2. And you're also trying to get up at 5 a.m. so you can have the perfect morning routine before your kids get up. Please don't do that. Pick one of those, just one, on January 1st. I know everyone else is doing all the things and it's exciting and there's momentum and it's like, woohoo, everyone's doing it. So like we're all in this together. I know that. So it's hard to go against the grain because picking one thing is going against the grain. And, as humans, with our fleshly desires, we are not wired to go against the grain. We don't want to go against the grain. But in order to take the narrow path, in order to live in a way that's sustainable and actually make changes to the way our minds work, the things that our flesh desires, to actually change those things, you have to do it the way that is different than the world. You have to do it the way that is different than everyone else is doing it. So on January 1st, when everyone else changes everything all at once, you're going to go, I'm changing one thing. And you're going to think I'm behind. It's kind of like the turtle and the hare. Yeah, we know this story. The hare is the mom who has tried to change everything at once. She's at the start line. She changes like 5 different things in her journey, and she's off to the races. Girl goes and loses like 10 pounds in a couple weeks. It's great. You know, her physical results are looking great. It's the end of January. Wow, look at her. She got some results. And you're over here going, I have changed 2 things in my journey. I've only lost like half a pound, and she's so much further ahead of me. And I'm not telling you to compare. I'm just saying tortoise and the hare. Let's talk about this. So you're the tortoise, right? But those 2 changes you made in January turn into 2 more in February. Well, let's look at this mama who's the hare and where she's at in February. Well, some stuff came up, and now she's still working out consistently, but her nutrition is whacked, and she also has no routine. She feels like she's rushed every day. She's pretty stressed. That's why her nutrition's off, because she's doing a lot of emotional eating, but she's still working out. That's stuck. So that's where she's at in February. You know, her hair-like pace has slowed down a little bit. And you're over here 2 more habits in, 2 more stepping stones in. So you've got 4 habits down, 2 in the area of nutrition, 2 in the area of fitness. And as you're wrapping up February and getting into March, you decide to start taking control of your routine. Look at that. It's March. We're heading into spring. And you are consistent as all get out. All of these things are just part of who you are now. And the other mama, who decided to change it all at once, she's now fallen down to only working out 4 days a week because life has gotten the best of her. Her nutrition is still all over the place. Her routine's all over the place. She's feeling stressed. She's frustrated because she's back where she was in December, and nothing's really changed. Truly, that's how like most people's years go, year after year, decade after decade. I mean, I don't want to live that way. I want real change. And I know you do too. So you have to start the year way different than everyone else is starting it. Instead of starting it with all the changes at once, which I know is exciting because everyone's doing it too. So it feels like, oh, there's this momentum and we're all doing it together. It really doesn't stick for most people, for around 95% of people. So when everyone else starts falling off and you've mastered just that one habit, and you get to add in a new one, you're moving one direction, forward, upward, progress, actual change, and everyone else is back where they started. This is not make-believe, and only the fit and disciplined can do that. That's how the fit get fit, and how the disciplined get disciplined. It's the narrow path versus the wide path, the hard path versus the easy path. And I know it sounds crazy because you're like, wait, one change at a time sounds really easy. It's actually really hard. It's a mental game. And what's cool is when you do hard things mentally and physically, you actually realize how capable you are of doing things like being disciplined day after day, choosing things that are more beneficial for your body food-wise than are not beneficial. I mean, when you do one thing that's hard, the amount of impact that has on your belief to do other hard things, like stick to your starting point and take this narrow path of only making one change at a time, it does wonders for you. Don't do in the new year what everyone else does. Do it the way that the few do and make real, lasting change. If you want that, go to startingpointschool.co to get on the waitlist for Starting Point School, because you're going to learn all of this. Thankfully, you're going to be around a bunch of other moms taking the same approach. So although it is the narrow path, you'll be doing it equipped and arm in arm with other mamas and me as your accountability. So you don't actually feel alone in this. You're taking the narrow path, but you're not alone on it. Thankfully, we're just going to have to walk in a line because it's pretty narrow. So go to startingpointschool.co to get on the wait list. Just name and email. That way you don't miss when the window is open, because it will close at one point on January 7th, I believe. And we'll get going and have that accountability, and it will be awesome. But all I want you to do, all of these plans that you're making for next year, they're great. and where you want to be, what you're envisioning for the end of next year or for by summer, like you're capable of that. I just want you to take a different approach. So even if you choose not to do starting point school, if you're like, that's not for me, or I don't want to invest in that, I'm just going to try to figure it out on my own, go for it. Like I figured it out on my own. I do wish I had community alongside of it and a little more guidance, because I was kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and it probably took a little longer than if someone had been leading me through it. Taking a whole year to get to that point with routine and everything. I probably could have done that in like 6-ish months time had I had more guidance, but no one was out there doing this for moms. And I figured it out for myself, and I was like, other moms need this so bad. So let's start 2023 in a sustainable way. Even though it's not the way the world does it, let's do it different, okay? And like I said, if you don't want to do it with us, totally cool. Just pick one thing. Do it your own way. Do the consistency challenge in January and just focus on that. Focus on one that's why I do the consistency challenges for free, because if you just focused on only those and then kept in place the other habits, maybe not like every single day a month. I believe January's will be focused around movement. I can't remember. It's the beginning of December. Let me be honest, I have not planned it yet. We'll decide on that later, okay? But if you were to focus on January's, be consistent and disciplined with it, then, when February's comes, put all your energy into that and just keep in place, 5-6 days a week, what we did in January. That's a huge way to make actual change by doing one thing at a time and doing it in a way that is semi-guided and, has that self-accountability of social media if you want to post a tracker. So that's a great way to do it. I want to encourage you and just ask you, beg you, not really, but truly, do it different. One thing at a time. This, again, is how the fit get fit. It's how the disciplined get disciplined. This is not, only people like that, whoever that is, can end up that way. You can too, mama. Like, I'm a mom of 2 kids. I'm just your normal next door mom. And if I can do that, one change at a time, narrow path, you are very capable of it too. And you don't have to do it alone. So startingpointschool.co or the consistency challenges, get yourself in the Tough Love Mom Squad on Facebook. Let's just be connected and in community and wrap up this year strong. And if you have not seen the consistency challenge for December, because it is the first, we are doing 20 minutes of physical activity every single day of the month. So 31 more days of physical activity, just 20 minutes a day or more, up to you, every single day. Consistency. Let's end the year strong so we can start the year even stronger. Get after it. Before you go, thank you for spending this time with me on the Tough Love Mom podcast. If this episode encouraged you in any way, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a review letting me know how this show has impacted you. Then send this episode to another mom friend, or take a screenshot, post it on social media, and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me on this journey to impact thousands of moms. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you, sister. Until next time, get after it.